Welcome to Oilers Nation Everyday with your hosts, Tyler and Liam.
The Edmonton Oilers host Bobby McMahon and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And you know what, Toronto? Just leave him here. You could get on the plane and go. Leave Bobby McMahon right here. Let's get into it with the lead. And Bobby, we have an extra bed up in the studio. Full kitchen, shower, bathroom, bakery downstairs, bar downstairs.
Hey,
restaurant.
That's my bed.
I'm just saying, Bobby, we could treat you good. We could treat you right, Bobby McMahon. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online at sportscloset.ca. Mystery player coming up in a little bit, so get to studying, everybody.
And you're going to need to.
Yeah, you're going to need to. Jay's going to join us because it's the Capital GMC Buick Game Day edition of the show. More on that in a little bit. The show, as always, brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Liam, I'm giving you everything I've got today. I think I'm fighting a bit of a bug. I slept for like 2 hours last night.
Oh, no.
I
should add some magnesium. You got a lot of magnesium in your diet?
I don't think I do. What would it do for me? Why should
Helps you sleep. Magnesium. Come on in, Jay. We're talking about magnesium.
Oh, that's good for you.
See, helps you sleep. You can get magnesium in foods.
Oh, sleep. Well, can I tell you a little bit of a beef I now have with the pharmaceutical industry?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, please do. We all have one.
Nutraceuticals or pharmaceuticals?
What? Last night, around 3 o'clock, and I knew Aaron came in. I had a buddy on the weekend who I hung out with who was also sick. And I was like, if I get sick the day before my trip, I'm going to be pissed.
Okay. What
I'm
did you
sorry.
Yesterday around 3 o'clock, I'm like, here it comes. Like, throat, oh no. When I was like, maybe I can just take a real hot bath, sweat this bad boy out. Sitting in the bath, I'm
Should've
like,
gone
nope.
to the sauna.
Yeah.
Would've
Just
been good.
wasn't working for me. So 9 o'clock, Amber's still at yoga. I'm like, I just got to take some cold and flu and go to bed. When you have a package of cold and flu tabs, there's yellow ones and blue ones.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
One says night and one says day.
I know.
Never trust the color system. Read the package.
But like common sense is blue nighttime, yellow daytime.
This is not good. I know the exact package you're talking about.
And so you're wired?
Wide awake.
Wide awake.
So your operator error is a beef with the pharmaceutical industry.
Blue is nighttime, damn it. That's the way I feel like it's always been. Why is Costco changing the rules now?
I stand with Tyler. NyQuil is like dark blue, green, whatever. DayQuil's orange, yellow. Stay consistent.
You just got to read the package, man.
I mean, it's right
It's a
there.
tough break.
But in my days and like you're in survival mode, it's like I just need to take these, go to bed, I'll be better tomorrow. And then that was at 9. So I'm laying there, it's 10. Okay, I'm not falling asleep. 11. Okay, I'm not. 12. Oh my God, what is going on? I'm tossing, turning. Amber's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I can't sleep. Like, why didn't these pills knock me out? And she goes, you didn't read the packaging. She goes, those pills are the opposite. If she would have been home and not at yoga, so it is Amber's fault.
Your beef is not with Big Pharma, and your beef is not with Amber.
Dark is night, light is day. Simple. Thank you.
Sounds
Be
like
Condon.
it's with your
Tyler,
old
your
English
first good
teacher.
take. Sun equals yellow, moon equals blue from Cole. Everyone's with me.
That's fair. It's a fair argument.
I mean, if you're going to make the assumption, sure.
Yeah.
But you never make the assumption when it comes to pills.
Yeah. It's a bad call.
Like,
I know. So anyways, I barely slept last night. By the time I actually fell asleep.
you
And
know it'll get you out of that jam.
What?
Some of them blue tabs.
Wow.
You should have counted it.
What do
You
you
should
mean?
have just taken a NyQuil. See if you can just counter it both and
that
just fall
was-
asleep
I
naturally.
probably could have at some point in the middle of the night, but the problem was like I kind of fell asleep a little bit from like 12 till like 2. Then I woke up and again I'm like wired. And then by the time I was like, okay, I'm not falling back asleep, it was 4. I had to be up to do morning cup of hockey today. So I'm like, I can't take a nighttime one now because then
in
like I'm
case.
screwing. It's been a mess of 15 hours for me. But
Well, not every day can be amazing.
Nope.
Some days you have adversity. And
Yeah.
so now you got some adversity.
I do have some adversity.
You should have sent your bet in the group chat at 2 a.m.
You should have.
I
was on
almost
my
sent
phone,
mine at
yeah.
10 a.m. or 9 p.m. yesterday before I went to bed. Good thing I didn't because it was wrong.
Oh.
Yeah. So I bet on it, and I'm like, oh, crap, I made the wrong one.
Lance with a very funny comment.
You should have some beef tonight. Good magnesium in beef.
Okay.
That'll help you sleep.
Well, then I gotta be up at the airport at 4 tomorrow. So
Bloody
like,
hell.
oof.
Where are you going?
Going to Phoenix. I've told you this probably
Waste
4
Management
times.
Open.
Okay, but I don't I remember you telling me that. Okay, fair.
Have some beef and cooked spinach.
Okay.
You'll feel right as rain.
I will have those two for
Speaking
dinner.
of spinach, I've got Crawford hooked on watching old Popeye cartoons.
Nice.
Oh,
Because I told her about strong body and how spinach gives you a strong body, and she wanted to know why I would say that. And so we've probably now, since that comment, have watched 100 Popeye cartoons.
I asked you this in Jasper, but I'll ask it for the people. Does it hold up okay?
I mean,
In today's political climate, is it the right thing for you to be saying to go watch more Popeye?
so there is some interesting observations, because it is about this. Even though Popeye and olive oil are normally a thing, it's normally about the pursuit and the quarrel of Brutus and Popeye pursuing olive oil, and it can get a little aggressive.
I now remember us having this conversation a couple deep in Jasper, and I said maybe that's just the game they play.
I mean, it was a different time, but Popeye is the saint of the two. Brutus sometimes gets a little too aggressive, and then Popeye pops in a can of spinach. Always has a can of spinach somewhere
Holstered,
tucked in,
ready to go.
And
yeah.
man, can that guy open up a can of spinach and inhale it really quick, and then he whoops his ass.
And that's the show.
That's the show.
Oilers looking to open a can of whoop ass on the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight.
Yes.
But before we get into the game tonight, there are a couple of things to get to in a new edition of What's Trending, a segment usually reserved for later on in the show, but there is so much happening that we got to get to it right now. First up, some of you may not have gotten the news yet. Anthony Cirelli is out for the Milan Cortina games. Also, I've decided I'm going full Milan Cortina games. If everyone else is doing it, so am I.
Well, that is what it's called, no?
But for a while, everyone was just saying the Milan Olympics. Milan Cortina games.
Okay.
Anthony Cirelli is out.
So is that like the Edmonton St. Albert games? Like what?
I don't
Yeah, I don't know.
Two
'Cause
cities?
It's always been Milan. Oh, it's two cities. Okay.
Anthony Cirelli out, and his replacement has been named. It is Florida Panthers forward Sam Bennett. Zach Hyman, once again overlooked by Hockey Canada. He will, for now, not be going to the Olympics. I'll be honest, this one legit surprised me. And let me outline why, because I understand what Jim Matheson and the other people who want to debate me on this on Twitter are getting at. You lose Cirelli, who is a penalty-killing, face-off winning fourth-line center, so you replace him with another centerman who, at least this season, yes, has been killing penalties. You also had your 13th and 14th forwards from when you were initially named the roster were Bo Horvat and Nick Suzuki, who are both penalty-killing centermen, who you picked over Sam Bennett on this team. So why now are you deeming Sam Bennett worthy of being in the lineup, presumably over those two, if that's the direction you're going? This was their chance, in my eyes, to make good for the Zach Hyman omission. No player in the NHL, or the only player in the NHL who has more goals than Zach Hyman since December 1st is Connor McDavid. No Canadian-born player, except Connor McDavid, has scored more playoff goals over the last 3 years than Zach Hyman. He is a proven playoff performer. He is a proven fit next to your best player on the top line. He gives you an edge. He gives you forechecking on the small ice. I think that would translate really, really well. I don't think I'm crazy for calling Hockey Canada crazy.
Okay, a few things. You're not wrong. Like we just allowed Tampa to have its whole line on the roster, right? So there's that logic. So why not give Connor his dog? I hear you, and it's a valid argument. And I think that you want to make the case that there could be two spots that open up on the roster, because
I'm wondering.
Sam Bennett was a Four Nations rock star,
And he was good in the Four Nations. I'll give him that.
a guy is he's a factor.
Yeah.
He's a gamer in big moments, and he did it in a Canada jersey. And Zach Hyman doesn't have that luxury. If he had that, if Hyman made the Four Nations and was a dog, he would have been.
I think that's a flaw in the process, though. But continue.
100%.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm just here to present the facts. I'm not here to choose one way or another. I'd love to see Zach Hyman don a Team Canada jersey, but I can also see this reasoning for Sam Bennett, and also the case to why he would be a valid option.
Yep.
That's it.
I can understand, I guess, why they went there. I just think their logic is flawed and they are wrong. Liam.
I think I'll be more upset if Braden Point can't go and then Zach Hyman isn't taken then.
Like if they take Wyatt Johnston over him or something like that.
I think that would be incredibly disrespectful to Hyman and the work he's put in the last couple of seasons. Well, since he joined Edmonton.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty underrated. I can see the logic of why they took Bennett, though. He should have been on the team initially.
Yeah.
He should have been.
He is having a good year,
He was a snub right from the get-go, but he's having a good year, but it's, well, -10, but he's a factor.
And he's also doing this. Well, firstly, didn't he get injured the other day?
Yeah, but he's apparently going to be fine.
Which is kind of funny that he got picked. Injury replacement for the injured player. But those numbers are without Barkov and Kachuk. I think that's a sign of how well he's done. Someone put in the chat, he's like, Bennett had 1 goal at the Four Nations. So
Pretty big one.
They only played 4 games, and he scored in the final, and he only played in 3 of them.
Yeah.
He didn't even play in the 1 game. So
Factor.
I like that he's on the team. I really do.
Conn
I think he
Smythe
should have
too.
been.
I don't know if you know that.
Yeah. He was dominant.
A guy who I would have taken over Bo Horvat when the initial process all went down.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have too.
Which again starts the domino effect of...
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just unfortunate that Canada left off so many players that deserve to be on this team. Hyman and Bennett were 2 of those players, and now one of them likely won't be going.
They've righted one wrong, but not the other. And we'll see. I mean, there are still 3 more nights of games, and obviously Braden Point, by the way, not going to play either of the last 2 games for the Lightning ahead of the Olympics. I think that kind of has some people, well, I mean, you can do that glass half full, glass half empty. Are they sitting him because he's close and John Cooper's kind of saying, like, it's all good, rest up, I know how important the Olympics are to you? Or is there legitimate concern that he could miss? They obviously made the decision already on Cirelli, and
Someone put in there, DJ Bricks. There's a chance Hyman opted not to continue his Olympic drug testing, therefore wasn't in consideration. I highly doubt he did that.
I have a really, really hard time that Zach Hyman would have been like so upset with the idea,
or
so upset with the idea that he couldn't do drugs that he would be like, well, finally,
back on.
Also, the end, like it's performance enhancing drugs. I know the Olympics obviously has different standards, but like, I don't think Zach Hyman's like popping a bunch of pills that the IOC's like, don't do that. So I'm sure Zach Hyman would have continued. Maybe I'm totally wrong on that. I don't know, but I'm sure Zach Hyman was continuing his drug testing, especially if Hockey Canada said at that point, end of December, he was hotter than a firecracker then. I'm assuming Hockey Canada would have told him like, hey, one of those guys, like, stay at the ready. Like, we might need you.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's the initial news of the day, is that Zach Hyman did not get the call for Team Canada. It is Sam Bennett going over him. Now let's get to the other piece that has people talking online. Connor McDavid's Players Tribune article dropped yesterday. A surprise. This wasn't something where there was like a lead up to it or anything like that. It just kind of came out of nowhere. And it was titled Dear Canada. I think it may as well have been titled Dear Edmonton. There was a lot more Edmonton-focused stuff on there than necessarily Hockey Canada stuff. But McDavid pulling back the curtain a little bit and giving us a chance to get to know what goes on in his life. And you know, I know it's not necessarily in his words. It's not like he sat down and busted out the typewriter and hammered out 1,200 words just because he felt like it. I know there's like an editorial process here. But a whole bunch of things that I think were very notable and noteworthy in this McDavid article, including this excerpt, which said, I'm 11 years into my career. Of course, I think about my legacy. I want to be remembered as a winner, but not just anywhere. Here. To be in this city during a cup run, to feel that buzz, it just wouldn't be the same somewhere else. This goes back to a conversation, and you're smirking. I'm assuming you just loved reading every part of this.
Yeah. How could you not? It was unbelievable.
But like, yeah, part of me still like there's imposter syndrome creeping in as well.
Yeah.
But
what do you explain that? Unpack that feeling. I'll go therapist mode. Unpack that for me, Jay.
Yes, please. Well, it all started when I was a kid. No. That article is amazing. And as an Oilers fan, you feel like it is talking specifically to us.
I felt like he was reading it to me.
And it was like giving us that message that we needed to hear. But I also feel like maybe it's him delivering that message that we need to hear. Like on the negative side. Not the negative side, just like just to get turn the temperature down, because he only signs a 2-year extension, so there's all that self-doubt. And if we don't win, he's going to go. Like, he also stresses a lot about how winning's super important to him.
Yeah. He mentioned in there that he hadn't won anything for like 8 years until he won the Four Nations.
And I'm like, geez, like, we had this much time to build a roster around you, and we're failing.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it's the Stanley Cup Finals, but still, like, we didn't do that extra thing, or we just accepted this as the status quo. And like, if we just gave you this, and like, I'm always nervous, and this is part of being an Oilers fan. There's a lot of trauma. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to read this all at the surface because that's initially how I did. And I was so excited. My girlfriend was trying to talk to me, and I'm like, stop. Like, I'm a slow reader. I'm like, give me the 20 minutes I need to read this thing, and absorb it. But then I slept on it and woke up, and I'm like, oh. But on the whole, it's amazing.
So this reinforces something you and I have had a conversation about a lot, Liam.
Reminded me.
Him being legacy, him being a very...
He's going to Phoenix on Friday.
Oh, good. Tomorrow.
It's fun. Damn it. Tomorrow's Friday.
We've talked a lot about how Connor McDavid is very legacy aware. Mm-hmm. And I've been on a couple of shows talking about this already today, so apologies if you've heard me do this whole rant already on either The Sauce, Monday through Friday on The Sauce YouTube, or Morning Cup of Hockey. Going back to his time when he was drafted by Erie, there were people, you can go back, were like, he's not going to Erie. He's not going to Erie, Pennsylvania. He's forcing his way to London. He's forcing his way to Peterborough, Sault Ste. Marie, whatever it is, right? Like, whatever the city, town in Ontario was that's hot at the time. Like, he's not going to sit in Erie this whole time and not win and not force his way somewhere to play in a Memorial Cup or whatever, right? And he didn't do that because he didn't want the reputation of being a guy who whines, picks his spots, and gets to go wherever, and because he's Connor McDavid. It's the reason why I thought it was laughable when he came to Edmonton and people went, oh, he's after that ELC, he's gone to a big market. He's going, nope, that's clearly not who Connor McDavid is. And he signed the first 8-year extension. And everyone said, oh, you just wait halfway through. If they don't win, Sid Sixero, Connor McDavid's not going to put up with this for much longer. And it's like, well, you clearly don't, like, not that I know Connor McDavid, but you clearly don't know how Connor McDavid operates.
Yeah.
He is so aware of what he wants his legacy to be at the end of his career. And it might have been, in air quotes, easy for him to put his hand up at some point and say, I'm gone. Trade me to Tampa, trade me to Colorado, get me out of here. I want to win Stanley Cups. And his legacy at that point would not have been on the ilk, if he would have won, of even McKinnon, certainly not Gretzky, Crosby, or Lemieux, who won where they were sent, right? Who won in their first team. Got the job done with what they had, so to speak. And I know that's not a totally fair narrative, and ring culture is like certainly a thing that's not a great way to evaluate greatness, but we all know that that's how legacies are formed.
Both within 4 years of them joining the team. Sid.
Oh, and
Wayne.
Yeah. Sure, but I think McDavid, as time went on, knew that, like, for him to be considered in that conversation with those guys, he had to win in Edmonton. He can't go chase it somewhere. He can't do that whole song and dance. And I think that's, again, this article and him thinking about his legacy and talking more openly about it, that definitely shows that that's how he operates, right? He is thinking, like, I need to win in Edmonton. And one thing that I'll say on maybe the more pessimistic side of this is not a love letter to the city of Edmonton. This is not, he talks about he loves playing here, obviously. This is not like Edmonton feels like home, I never want to leave. This is nothing like that. This is, I want to win in Edmonton, and that sentiment being directly tied to his legacy. Mm-hmm. I think that's maybe a part that has me a little bit pessimistic, is this isn't like some, I wake up and love the river valley and the people, and it feels like I could never be anywhere else but Edmonton. It is, I know that for my legacy, I need to win in Edmonton. And that is encouraging in a sense.
But for a guy like that, like, that's all you care about.
I know. It's encouraging in a sense because, yes, it's all he cares about. And I think that's proof that even after this 2-year extension, if Edmonton is still on the right track, even if they haven't won, if they're on the right track in 2 years, and he goes, my best chance to win is in Edmonton, he's not just going to walk away. But I also think it cements what you're sighing about next to me, and that is, if we're not on the right track, I think the reason
he's given us 13 years.
Exactly.
13 years, and we still can't figure it out. This thing keeps moving, and it's driving me crazy.
Uh-oh. That is odd.
So I can't, like, whatever happens after 13 years, I will never fault him, I hope. But
fix it for you.
We need to
Figure it out.
Mic stand, we got that.
We got the mic stand. Now can Stan Bowman figure out his mic stand being the Edmonton Oilers roster?
I just think, and I agree with you, I think this last deal and the reason he deliberated on it for so long and then ultimately took the discount is because, one, he really wrestles with the fact that, like, is this his best chance to win here? Can this team get it done? I think he recognizes this current iteration probably can, but if this contract's up and the Oilers aren't in a good spot, I think it's his chance to say,
I did everything I could.
I gave you everything I could.
I took a crazy and that's the thing. He's also doing everything he can to give the Oilers a chance.
Yep.
So it's what they do around him to give him what he needs. The fact he only signed for $12.5 million.
Crazy.
It was crazy. Crazy. Calculated. And obviously he gave us his time horizon, his window. And granted, like that first cup run when we came back, like we could have that one we could have won.
It feels like
it also felt after game 2 we could have won this year, and then we just fell
if
flat.
Kapanen scores on that breakaway, they have a Stanley Cup. If McDavid and company score during that crazy push in the final 2 minutes in 2024, they probably win the Stanley Cup. If Bobrovsky doesn't steal game 1, they probably win the Cup. Sorry.
It does feel weird that they were down 3-0 in that first series, but it still felt like their best chance.
That was their best chance.
Yeah. And now you look at the team, and I still think they're capable of doing it. Like he says in the article, is like, we know when playoffs come, that is our time.
I think we just got humbled against a very good team on the weekend. We played a very good team. That is a very good team. Holy shit, is Minnesota very good.
I think they're the best 2 teams in the league, Colorado and Minnesota. I don't think it's that close right now.
We got outclassed. So we got some work to do. That was, to me, that was scary. That was a scary signal.
I think there's a couple of layers to it from that game. Well, Draisaitl obviously left the game for a little bit. I think that added a layer to the disappointment. I think Jari's comments, the more I've thought about it, are something that the team has now echoed a little bit more too.
He's not wrong. Defense has always been an issue. It's
Agreed.
like that Stu was hung out to dry, but obviously he would let in the odd rough goal. But like defensively, we're not good. That's why it goes back to the beginning of the season. The fact that people were thinking and other people were drinking the Kool-Aid on, we had the 3rd best D-core. We're crazy to think that was the case.
It is number 1.
Number 1. All right. So what? Well, so crazy to think that. We're still a ways away there.
What would you improve on the blue? Like, what would you do to make that blue line better? I'm not saying it can't be done.
I think it's a team defense issue.
I think it's a bit of both.
It's a bit of both, but you have strong defensive defensemen, they can mask some of that stuff that pushes. It's a bottom 6 defense issue, I guess, to some degree.
I do worry about,
like, who do you push out? I don't know, but like we need another strong defender.
I think it's becoming a little bit clear who you push out. Stastny has good things about him.
Yeah.
But he's not a very good defender. Like, he's a perfectly fine player. I think he does everything right, but I do worry about him in the playoffs. Like, I think of that Florida blue line. They're all big. And they're all can all defend very well. And Stastny's the one guy on the Oilers blue line. It's like very different from the rest of them. Like, as much as like Bouchard's not a big guy in comparison to like Nurse and Ekholm, but he's still like 6'1". You know what I mean? Where Stastny's, why is he 5'10"?
I think he fits how they want to play, though.
I think
that's
he
why I
does
disagree
fit
with you
how
on
they
that.
want to play.
But it's not working, right? So we have to actually make the right adjustments. And we're not mean enough. God, we're not mean enough.
Well, and that's where, again, you need more guys to be like Bouch in the sense that like he'll go cross-check someone and kind of knock him down when he's pissed off. And
he's
you
not
don't
afraid to do it.
You get that a little bit. You get that from Nurse too, but like you don't get that from anybody else on that blue line.
I refuse to accept Bouch and the word mean. He said in the same fucking.
I don't think
he's absolutely a prick.
Fake.
No, you know who's fake? The bearded number 14. His gloves have been glued on since the moment he got here. Yeah,
I know, but at least he checks hard and stuff. I'm not saying Ekholm's tough.
I think Bouchard.
But it goes back to the mean thing. I feel anything Bouchard does, and this is like, don't even take this as anti-Bouch sentiment.
Yeah.
He's not on the team to be a tough guy.
It's not his job, yeah.
It's not his job. So anytime he tries to be tough, to me, it's not genuine at all.
See, and I take it as that's him stepping out of his comfort zone and being like, okay, I'm going to go
then
cross-check
fight
this
someone.
guy.
Show me that you actually mean it. Like if he's actually serious, like I'm seriously going out of my comfort zone and I'm trying to be tough and I'm putting on for my team, like get into a fight.
There's a lot of guys you could say that about, though.
But you're talking about Bouch right now. My toughness, meanness was about the whole team.
And that's
like Frederick, be a fucking asshole, please.
Well, yeah, he's a whole nother problem.
Right? There's a lot of we're not. It's
that's why
we're still that like, oh, we're going to Edmonton, safe tonight.
That's why I like
Feeling
someone like
comfortable.
Lazar. Like I know he hasn't fought or anything this year, but the other day we talked about.
Yeah, but he's
not
prick,
afraid
he push it,
to.
he will.
And that's a guy who has had to change his entire game since he came to the NHL. And like we talked about the other day, how his penalty took out who did they play?
That was during the
Ducks game.
Yeah,
the
San Jose game, yeah.
And he like took out the penalty and ended up being 4-on-4. But he's like, at least you're trying to send a bit of a message and not afraid that you're going to do something. I appreciate that about him. And hopefully when the playoffs come around, you want to see that level from Freddie now. And to his credit, like he's not been afraid to drop the gloves against the bigger guys in the league. But I want to see it with the gloves on as well, of just like you're in guys' faces and you're laying bigger hits. And that fourth line to I think they've been playing reasonably well. But I need to see more of like the legit old school fourth line out of them.
That ice between the blue lines is the safest place on the ice. Skate up and down with your head down. No one's going to take a run at you. But he doesn't do it. He did it in his first game. When does he step into guys anymore? He doesn't do it.
He had one last game where he
should be blowing. The guy obviously has the knack and can see it, but needs to now actually action it. He could blow one guy up a game. Like you got to have that threat. You have to have that threat.
The reason I lean that I think it's a team defense issue. I think the forwards play a way bigger role than a lot of people sometimes
realize. It needs intervention.
Realize.
It needs intervention. Something needs to change. Just expecting the fact that we're going to have better team defense, we don't have the ingredients for it. We've proven it.
Well, they have proven they can play good team defense.
Yeah.
In very small sample size.
Back-to-back trips to the Stanley Cup final.
Well, just on this team alone, not even those teams, but
the teams evolve. It's not the same roster.
The Oilers this year was it December, I said yesterday, were the fourth best team in the league defensively. And then it just all fell apart in January. Very similar to November.
And I hope, we're just kind of coasting through because even in Connor's article, that's what I wanted to bring the regular season is weird. Mm-hmm. And they'll step up, but there's just some signals there because we haven't been able to stitch together a heater. They haven't been able to get mad and go on a heater and actually take command over the league like they have in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
So that is a concern. There's some weird signals. This is the thing that's just all of a sudden going to flip a switch. They showed us that they are a predominant team in the league in a solid stretch of time, that you just need that to feel good. And once again, maybe I'm just a fickle fan and it's easy to kind of go back to the trauma of the decade of darkness. But that Minnesota game was very telling to me, and I hope Stan Bowman was watching that and be like, okay, I got some work to do.
I agree, because I think just in the Minnesota games, your first one was the 1-0 loss. So, okay, whatever. You can kind of get over that one. Your goalie plays well. Their goalie's unbelievable. But the second one was, I think it was a second and back. Oh, no. They played on a Saturday afternoon. Pickett started the game. It's when Jarry just got hurt. And the next game was Vegas at home. It was okay. You can kind of understand how you didn't get maximum effort.
I'm just talking about the last game.
No,
I'm
I know,
even trying to build a case.
But then you get to this one, too, and it's like, okay, we've already played this team twice, and they've beat us twice. We need to show up. And they did, and then they just immediately fell apart in the second period.
So I think this ties in nicely to the part of the McDavid article you were just talking about. He talked about the pain of losing, how it felt so much worse than the joy of winning. And he said, if I'm honest, I struggle with that. It's something I've tried to work on these past few seasons. When we lose a game, whether it's game 1 of 82 or game 3 of a playoff series, it's a big deal here, which is very funny that we're talking about a Saturday in January against Minnesota being like a big, massive, oh my God, what's wrong with the team? He said, like I said, I welcome that pressure, but as a player, as a leader, I can't get too high or too low. So how do you have fun in an environment like that? Which is something we've criticized them for throughout the years, that it doesn't look like they go out there and have enough fun when they're winning and have enough fun when they're scoring, which as the years gone on, you've actually seen that change a little bit in McDavid. He's gotten back to celebrating goals, and Draisaitl gets more fired up. McDavid adds, sometimes the regular season feels like a grind. I think you've seen it in our play this year, in my play. I'm not always proud of that, but I want to be honest here, because what I can also say is that our room is working really hard. We're trying to win and have fun and be the team we know we can be. Coach is always telling me to relax, and I don't always listen to that as much as I should, which I also think is very funny that he called him coach, like he's a 15-year-old. Like, oh, coach always says I got to relax. I think it's a team mentality issue. I think this blue line, as it's constructed right now, I mean, the only one thing I'll say is like Brett Kulak the last 2 playoffs was great, but it was apparent this year that Brett Kulak was no longer Brett Kulak and he had lost a step.
Yeah.
But like, I think this blue line as it's constructed is better than the one in 2024. And I think it's pretty close to on par with the one in 2025. I just think it's the rest of the team that needs some work.
The current state eye test of this season says you're wrong. Now I need to see them in the playoffs. Maybe they
I don't know if I agree with
we
current
can't.
state
We can
eye
barely.
test.
We've won 3 games in a row once.
That was a big deal. We popped champagne.
Well, but sure. Like in this season, yeah, it was something to celebrate. It was a hump, it was a hump to overcome. But
Best.
What was the 2024 blue line? It was Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse, CC,
Vinny,
Kulak, and Vinny / Broberg at the end.
Right.
Which is the one, once Broberg came in, it was, I'd take Broberg, obviously, but like, we were running Cody Ceci in top 4 minutes and Vinny Desharnais every night, and we went to the Stanley Cup final. Like the idea that the Oilers have always thrived on being a heavy possession team that gets the puck up the ice and then controls play in the offensive zone. And that's why I struggle with being like, and I know this isn't what you were saying, but I think this is what some people jump to when they hear like, Stasny's not the guy you want. They hear that and they go, get a guy like Luke Shen. I don't think Luke Shen plays the way the Oilers want to play,
No,
and I don't think that
agree.
helps.
I agree.
and I know the thing that might turn off and on between regular, because like I said, they've been in the Stanley Cup finals twice, and the thing they do differently in the cup finals that they don't do as much in the regular season is blocking shots. Like that commitment to everyone toeing the line on blocking shots.
Yeah.
Like that's something we don't see, which is what's helps them push forward. But
And again, there's reason to believe that reading the Connor article, that's how I keep kind of tying this in. There's reason to believe that the guys in the room know, like, man, we just got to dial it up at some point.
I know.
And maybe they have, as terrible as this would sound, maybe they have it in their head of like, once we get back from the Olympics, it's playoff time. And like, we go.
Yeah.
And they'll start building from there.
I'm willing to be like open to being like, we're just in this moment, but it feels like we've been saying that all season.
Yeah.
And I'm not sitting here to raise alarm bells, but if we're going to do a deep run, like games like, there's got to be certain games that get you, like, get them amped up. And, like, beating Minnesota on Saturday should have been one because they've lost the last 2. They're a top team in the Pacific, so it's a good way to measure up. And for them to just, like, sure, you can say we showed up for the first little bit, but, like, they were on us.
They had 2 leads in that hockey game.
They were on us to start the game. Like, yeah, we scored first, but they were on us.
Needed a save.
It's just... Sure, but they had so many high danger chances. Like it's you know, I just hope we're making a couple tweaks and move forward. I'm not, but I have to call it that Minnesota game. Just had a bad feeling in my stomach after that game.
They just can't beat the Central.
It was kind of similar to the Colorado game when they got completely blown out, where it's like you kind of felt like it was coming eventually. Well, like they hadn't played well, but they got some decent scores and results out of it. And then they faced a really good team, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're not that good. You got humbled.
Yeah, a little bit.
It does feel like every year we look for the turning point in the season. Like a few years ago when they played the Kings on the road and everyone fought. So I feel like every year we always search for that moment, but like it's not even close this year.
And maybe they're just tired. And they're just like, let's just get into the playoffs, and we'll really put it, because like we know we're in our window, but. You know, it is, like I said, that we still have a couple imperfections that we just can't look past that we got to address to give ourselves the best chance to go on a deep run. Like, Connor and Leon are going to drag us as far as physically possible just on their own.
Yeah.
And Lance makes a good point. We don't have to worry about Minnesota, and I'll add Dallas and Colorado, until the conference finals.
I know, but it's scary.
But by the time you get there, like, again, by the time you get, the playoffs are a different beast, then by the time you get there, it's a different beast. You know, we were all petrified of Dallas the last 2 years.
Case in point, Dallas, yeah.
Not me.
No, yeah, I will give
Dallas
you credit for that.
the first year. The second year, no.
Liam didn't blink either time.
No.
I think you said Oilers in 5 the first year, and I know it ended up being in 6, but still.
What, the first year?
Yeah, I think you said Oilers in 5, year 1.
That last year, I definitely said it.
Last year, you definitely didn't. You nailed it. But I think even the year before, you were that confident.
Maybe I did. They're a bit overrated.
You've never been a Jake Ottinger guy.
I'm not a Mikko Rantanen guy either.
Amanda also brings up a point,
Good
and
player,
I know this is an across-the-board thing, so it's not unique to Edmonton, but, like, it's been a weird year with the condensed schedule, right? Oilers being one of those teams. Like, I wanted to talk about this, and maybe this is the natural pivot point to this in the conversation, but who's played the most hockey the last 2 years? Edmonton and Florida.
And now they've played the most games this season, right, the Oilers?
56 games is Dallas, or Minnie has played 57.
Either way, they're right up there. Kind of crazy.
But Edmonton and Florida have played the most games. You could argue they're the two teams struggling with the condensed schedule the most, because I don't know if you've checked the standings out east. I wanted to have this conversation really quick before we get into
Panthers
some game day
are out,
stuff.
right?
They're not making the playoffs.
They're not going to make the playoffs.
So
that's your projection.
Can I give you some math?
Please
Yeah,
do.
please do. I love math.
Okay. So,
Especially your Remchuk math.
oh yeah, and trust me, this is some good Yaremchuk math. Florida's got 27 games left.
Oh, they're much lower
But
than
this
I
is the
thought.
power of the East. Like that, their record in the West, they'd be doing great.
Yeah, sure. So let's say Florida in their final 27 games goes 20-7. They win 20 of their final 27. That's going to get them 40 points. That's going to get them to 98 points. Right now, the Boston Bruins are 8 points ahead of them. So for Boston to hold them off, Boston, if Florida gets 40 in their last stretch, Boston would need 31 points in their final 26 games. Boston would have to go 15-10-1 to hold off the Florida Panthers. If the Florida Panthers were to go 20-7, Boston would have to go 15-10-1.
Because I think the other side of it too is that the Atlantic is the stronger division of the two, right? Right now in the
5
Metro?
look like they're getting in from the Atlantic, yeah.
Where is Barkov?
He's doing optional skates right now, but that's about it. Still sounds like it's middle of the playoffs, not middle of this stretch run.
And Kachuk is gone for how long?
He's still
back.
He's back. He got back like 2 weeks ago.
Bennett now hurt, but of course is good enough for the Olympics, so he'll be good for after the Olympic break. But like, think of that math. If Florida goes 20-7, which would be a crazy run, you're probably winning 6-7 in a row at some point. Boston has to go 15-10-1 to hold them off. And never mind Boston, if Florida goes 20-7, they would also need Toronto to not go on a heater, and Ottawa, and Columbus, and Washington. Yeah. 4 of those teams also have to not go on a heater.
They're last in the division.
And I know we talk about goaltending around these parts. Whatever the hell happened to Sergei Bobrovsky is the biggest mystery of all.
He's won 2 cups.
Yeah.
Still hung over from the summer.
But he was always the guy who was like, don't care, on to the next season.
Yeah.
Like he was
How old is he now? Because this is
37.
37.
This is his last year of his 8-year, right?
Yeah. So
Just kind of fell back to where he was before the playoffs a couple of years ago, to be honest. Like he was the worst contract in the league, people would say.
he was unmovable for that stretch. Anyways,
That's why they drafted Spencer Knight.
it's interesting in Florida. Like again, if they miss the playoffs, no one's going to be sitting there and be like, "Oh, fire Maurice!" All these trades, like everyone's just going to shrug and be like, 2
cares?
rings and they ran out of gas. Like it makes sense, but like,
And they had injuries.
and they had injuries. So like the excuses are all there for the Florida Panthers. But like, damn, they legitimately, I'd say 80%, 85% chance they missed the playoffs this year.
Someone said Money Podcast was a 24% chance to make the playoffs.
Wow, even that seems high. Just so many teams in between them. And it's so hard to gain ground on those teams. When there's 6 teams ahead of you, on any given night, one of those teams is playing the other one, meaning one of them is getting 2 points or it's a 3-point game.
You got to think Zito's going to try to make some moves, though, eh?
But okay, so now
It's very, very risky.
put yourself in Artemi Panarin's shoes,
Yeah, he's not going to Florida.
right? There's
If
no
he's-
way he can go to Florida.
No.
Do you think they'll move, guys?
No, they won't punt because they'll want to give that. They'll sit there and say like, we owe this group, the opportunity to try sort it out.
Yeah, that's
till the
fair.
bitter end.
They did terminate Ryan McAllister's contract today.
Well, that makes you wonder.
You remember him from a few years ago? He was like the hot topic coming out of the NCAA. And
really?
It was between the Oilers and Florida. Former Brooks Bandit.
I was going to say he's one of the Brooks because the other one is TJ
Hughes.
Hughes, yes. All right. Let's get into some game day conversation. Game Day is on the show, brought to you by Capital GMC Buick Edmonton. Check out their extensive inventory of top quality vehicles like the 2026 GMC Terrain Denali or the 2026 Sierra Denali Ultimate. Capital GMC Buick is Edmonton's highest volume GMC dealer and the #1 certified pre-owned dealer in Alberta. 5 different players on the team. currently drive a vehicle from Capital GMC Buick. Check out the dealership yourself, 9751 34th Ave Northwest, or online at capitalgmcbuick.ca. Jay, were you surprised that Calvin Pickard cleared waivers? And what did you make of the honor we bestowed upon him?
Yeah, do you see it?
It's an elite club.
It is. It's our thank you for your service goalie rafters.
Yeah.
It's also been pointed out to me.
Well,
that
you can take it
Stu's
down
not up
because
there.
he's back. He didn't go anywhere.
No.
I'm happy he stayed because the room loves him, and that just solidifies the fact that he can be in the room for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? So, like, those guys love him, man.
Assuming he wants to be in the room for the playoffs.
Of course he does.
Okay.
Actually, well, remember, if Jari isn't starting, Cal's on the bench.
You could save $4 million on the cap, yes.
It is a big layer in it.
It is.
It's really
So
significant.
he is a magical weapon for us. And best believe if you chuck him in the playoffs, we be winning. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm so relieved. Like, you know, it was $1 million, so I can see why that was a deterrent. But like, I was worried because these guys spoke so highly of him. Like, man, maybe we should just take a gamble and have this guy in the room. Mm-hmm. So happy that he's still in the organization.
There was just a comment in the YouTube chat that I really want to bring up because it just made me laugh. Dan Gauthier is in and says, can't say Bouch isn't a prick. Remember the stick tap to the skate on, I'll fill in the blank for you, Rupe Hintz?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when Hintz came back after blocking that shot and Bouch just went and chopped him on top of the skate laces?
And fans are asking him to get suspended.
Yeah, they're like, he needs to be suspended.
Intent to injure.
Oh, that was good.
damn it.
Lineup notes tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. Curtis Lazar is out. Andrew Mangiapane is in. Lazar has really struggled the last couple of games. The take away the dumb penalty he took, I thought he looked really, really slow against San Jose. And I just think he's one of those guys who he is a really good 13th forward. He can give you 5 games in a row, but then you got to sit him, let him rejuvenate. And that's fine. Like, that's not like, I don't think I'm talking down to Curtis Lazar. It's just, I think he needs to be a part of a rotation. And Mangiapane, put him in before the break. Why not?
I agree. I'd get Regula in a game here.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I really would. He's been out for a while.
You could play
Wasn't
Regula
Toronto
tomorrow.
interested? Wasn't there a Toronto interest in Mangiapane at one point? It's like a showcase.
I think this is the opposite.
Pacelli.
I think this is proof that they probably don't have a Mangiapane trade lined up before the freeze tomorrow. Because if they did, if they felt like they were close on something with Mangiapane, and I know people in the chat are doing like what you just did, chances Mangiapane goes with Toronto after tonight. If you felt like something was close, you are not playing him tonight.
Yeah.
You're just trading him.
Maybe Toronto's like, we just need one real look-see.
Give us one look. Brad Treliving had him for 6 years in Calgary?
They just double shift him with Connor. Connor's just feeding him like
4-goal game. 4-goal game, and he's a Leaf for the third period. Anyways, Mangiapane comes in, Lazar comes out. I would be, I won't say stunned because I don't want to use that word. I would be very surprised if the Oilers made a move before the freeze tomorrow.
But 2 are coming.
Well, we don't need to redo our whole conversation from yesterday, but
2 moves are coming.
That's what the rumor mill is.
that's what the Twitter insiders are saying. At least 2 moves are coming before the freeze. Makes you think, doesn't it? Zack Phillips is going to join us in about 15 minutes' time to talk about things a bit more from the Toronto Maple Leafs perspective, but they are coming off.
He's pumped as a Leafs fan.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat with Zach. The Leafs coming off a win last night over the Calgary Flames down in Calgary.
Good.
Felt like a home game for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Always does.
Which I know tonight borderline will.
So annoying.
I will give my take though. Season ticket holders, get your bag. You can pay for 2 playoff games with the money you get from tonight.
I mean, it's a Tuesday night. So do it.
If you can get double face value for your tickets, absolutely do it. It's not like Buffalo. Like if this was Calgary and every time Calgary came to our barn, it was 60% Flames fans. Like that's what happens for Buffalo, right? And Darlene got pissed the other day about it.
Really?
He kind of called out the fans being like, we need to start showing up in our own building.
Love it.
But like if it was Calgary rolling in here twice a year and it was like this, I would be livid and I would say, do not sell your tickets. We put 1 game a year, Toronto.
Well, it's Toronto and Montreal are the big 2.
Yeah.
Did you sell your tickets tonight?
Nope.
Good.
Never does.
Give them away.
Game away.
Honor.
2 Leafs fans.
Respect the fan. 2 Leafs fans.
Nick and Zach are going.
No Morgan Riley tonight. He's sitting out for the rest of the first half of the season with a lingering issue. So the Leafs down a man on the blue line.
Called it Connor McDaviditis.
Yes.
Yes.
But if you ask that Leafs team, all they want to talk about is Troy Stecher. Anthony Stolarz with a quote the other day saying it's a good thing Edmonton let him go. Insiders now reporting that if the Leafs were to trade Stecher, they would get something for him at the deadline, which kind of sucks.
I liked Stecher, man. He was a gamer.
I liked him too, but I also don't care that the Leafs might get something out of him because the Oilers just were never going to get this out of him.
Yeah, because they couldn't play.
Couldn't play.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, we'll get a chance to see Troy Stecher back. And Stecher had nice things to say about Edmonton. He kind of said, like, I was a Flame, I was a Canuck, I was an Oiler, I was a Leaf. He's like, I've loved it all. He's like, I don't have any ill will towards anyone. But here's how the Leafs are expected to line up tonight. Austin Matthews centering. Our future boy, Bobby McMahon, and Max Domi. John Tavares with Matias Maccelli and William Nylander, who had a good game last night. He's back from injury. Nicholas Waugh with Matthew Nyes and Nicholas Robertson. Scott Laughton missed on a breakaway last night when I was watching with Kelly Yarncroke and Steven Lorenz. McCabe with Carlo. Ekman Larson with Stecher. Benoit with Myers. Brandon Carlo, a guy who's had his name connected to the Oilers a little bit over the last week. And today on 32 Thoughts, Elliot Friedman threw cold water on that idea, kind of saying he's heard Edmonton doesn't view Carlo as much of a fit, which, again, makes sense. I don't think Edmonton wants to get more expensive on the blue line or spend spend significantly more assets.
Who do we want to
line.
target as a defenseman? If we could target a defenseman.
Matt Grzelcyk. There's some smoke around Logan Stanley.
I think they want to get bigger. I do think Jay's right in that regard.
And I know I just laughed because I said the 2024 blue line was worse with him. If you just wanted to add toughness, San Jose, if they keep 50% of Vinny and it's a 7th round pick, if you want to pat yourself on the back and say we got tougher, I could live with that. He's your 7th D-man in that scenario, and maybe you trust him more than Regula. Not that you should. I think Regula's fine, but still.
Well, you need someone you can play.
I think Stanley's a decent option.
I think he's going to cost too much.
But I think his cap hit is cheap enough to understand why it would be a bit more.
McDoust said Zub. I don't mind Artem Zub. He's got some trade protection, though, and he's got term. So, again, we're talking pretty expensive here, but he is a right shot, so he could fix your pairings with a guy like Zub on the right side. All of a sudden, you go Bouch, Ekholm, then you can go potentially Zub, Wallman, and then you could go Nurse with Emberson. And, maybe you're sheltering Nurse a little bit more. Someone said Alexiak. Seattle can't stop winning, so I don't think Alexiak's really an answer.
I don't think he's an option. I don't mind Stanley.
They need to fix that. They need to start losing.
Mm-hmm. We need more teams to start losing. Toronto, I'm glad they... Well, actually, I wish they had lost to Calgary yesterday. I want them to be the worst team in the league.
Oh, they're going to lose tonight.
That's fair. We'll counter it,
I want to ask you one quick trade question. All the trade talk on our show is brought to you by Hurley and Levelware. Golf is having a moment right now, and not just in the traditional sense. What used to feel buttoned up has opened into something way more cultural, and you're seeing athletes from all kinds of pro sports getting into golf, whether it's basketball, hockey, football players, even surfers using it as a new competitive outlet, and that is where the Hurley with Levelware collaboration comes in. Hurley brings that laid-back board sports energy, and the collection pulls inspiration from Hawaiian and coastal prints. Levelware takes that inspiration and brings it to life through performance-driven, sustainably made apparel. The result, the Fairwaves collection, is available now. Check it out online, levelwear.com. Polos, hoodies, hats, and casuals. Did you hear Dave Pagnotta on our show say yesterday that if Artemi Panarin becomes a rental, the Oilers would make a call? What do you think?
I mean...
Does he... And I know you love the idea.
It pushes someone down, which helps... But
does it solve a problem?
Oh, God. You just need to know what else you're going to do. Does it prevent us from doing something if we do it?
Yes.
But, having him in the top 6, pushing someone down to the third line.
Nuge.
Putting Nuge down, yeah. He's so good, which is why, I don't want to
fully push back on it. It gives you 2 dynamic lines. Not just, and they're already dynamic, but, an extra layer of dynamicism. New word.
Yep.
Check it out.
Makes sense.
Positive regression.
But we need to get a defenseman, though.
So I don't know how all the money could work because he's obviously a big ticket. 50% retain would be 5 something.
5.8-ish.
5.8. Okay.
Yeah. Jari doesn't start one game in the playoffs. That's how it happens.
I mean, hey, that does
But
go
for a Stanley, for example, he's only 1.5 million. If you get that guy 50% retained, my point is I think there is guys who you could get Panarin and still address a little bit on the blue line too with like a cheaper contract, and it might cost you a little bit more, sure, but like ultimately that doesn't matter. If you're trying to win, like, and you think Stanley or Panarin, like, nobody would come away from that trade deadline with like, the Oilers didn't get better today. Like, that would be great. And I think that's a big layer missing all of this is like, the Oilers need defense, and I completely agree. But it's clear that Knobloch is having trust issues with his bottom six. And I think he really wants that third line to be able to shut down a team. But right now, he has to look at it and be like, well, Roslovic and Savoy can play that because we just don't have shutdown guys, and they can at least push a bit of offense. If all of a sudden Nuge is down there and you say you put down Kapanen or Podkolzin, that looks like a lot more of a line that he would trust in the playoffs. And all of a sudden, I would say you've got 4 legit lines. And he would have to play Nuge. Could you imagine if he only played Nuge like 12 minutes a night? That just wouldn't be able to happen. But I think Nuge is good enough to take that role.
Someone said Braden Schneider in New York might be pricey, and I think they want more experience than Braden Schneider. I don't think they're just doing it.
He just doesn't have what they would need.
Yeah,
I really do think they want size. The
just play
defenseman, just play Stastny. I don't think Stastny's as good, but you don't need to pay the assets to go get Schneider.
You're passionate today. It's resulted in a great show, but that means we only have 9 minutes to do your 2 favorite segments.
All right, let's zip through it.
Mystery player time, everybody, and it's a tough one.
Oh,
I don't think you're getting this one, Jay.
Okay, so this is Leafs Oilers.
Leafs and Oilers. If you have not played before, $25 to our friends at the Sports Closet is up for grabs. I give you some clues. You need to guess. It is a player who played for both the Edmonton Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you're one of the first 3 people in the chat to get it, your name goes in the wheel. We spin the wheel, and one person gets the gift card. Let's kick things off. This is maybe the hardest one we've done. Clue number 1, I played just 16 games for the Oilers and just 5 games for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wow. This way, let's think on that one.
It's not Derek Brassard. He did not play for the Maple Leafs.
Wow.
Good guess, though. Good guess. I respect it. Troy Stetcher. No, he's played more for both teams than that. Mangiapane never played for the Leafs. Zach Hyman. What? Next clue, because we can just keep going. The Leafs were my final NHL team.
I like the formatting.
I'm just making sure that people
You're right.
Yeah. All right. Oh, wow. You guys are so good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I see
so
it.
good.
Yeah, that's well done.
My most common line mates.
This was crazy. Where Kajula and Draisaitl.
Yeah, my most common line mates with the Oilers were Drake Kajula and Leon Draisaitl. And the fourth hint, I was acquired by the Oilers in the Mark Letestu trade. So many of you guys correctly identifying today's mystery player very fast as one Pontus Oberg.
Still playing, by the way. He's only 32.
Crazy that he's only 32. I'll be honest, stunned at how many of you got this. And I think I got Aaron. I put him in the prep sheet here.
Okay,
the 3. I think it's Illinates.
Yep, you got
Kevi
that right.
Kevi Papa, and Gord Parchewski.
Why did they trade Letestu?
Deadline. I think they were out of it that year, and he was a pending UFA.
Do you know he never played for Nashville? Just went straight to Columbus from Nashville.
Oh, really? They flipped him?
Yeah, immediately.
Oh, was it a 3-way trade, like right out of the gate?
Must have been.
Who was the...
It was a 4th-round pick.
Letestu.
Yeah, it was a 3-way deal.
Still had 8 goals that
Face-off
season.
king.
And
Dynamite
one-timer
on the
power
power
play
play.
specialist, man.
Unbelievable.
Outproduced McDavid in the 2017 playoffs. Anyways, that's Letestu. We're talking
built
about
around
Pontus
him.
Oberg. 3 names in the wheel. Giddy up, Aaron. Spin that wheel. Ooh, I've never even seen them in the chat. Lil Nate's.
Pays to show up.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Email me, Tyler@Oilersnation.com, and I will get you all sorted up with our friends over at the Sports Closet. You scored yourself a $25 GC. Up next is the Bet365 Game Day Betting Challenge. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Everybody is coming off a loss. No one was correct. What would have been the game last week? San Jose?
Yes.
I can't believe none of us got anything for San Jose.
Well, I was 1 shot off on Hyman. Otherwise, I would have nailed it.
Jay, you had McDavid goal. He scored. Hyman 3 shots, got it. McDavid 3 shots, got it.
Celebrating goal.
Celebrating goal.
Hyman didn't have 3 shots.
Oh, he only had 2. You're right.
Yeah, 2. That was
Never
what I
mind.
had.
So you missed on a couple. What was mine last game? I had McDavid 2 points, which he got over 4.5 team total, and Hyman didn't hit his shot prop. So a bunch of L's for us, but our picks for tonight, I'm going with Wallman 2 shots. He's been crushing this as of late. Kasperi Kapanen's got a shot prop up on Bet365. So giddy up. I'll take that. Jake Wallman, by the way, has hit this number of 2+ in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 straight hockey games for Jake Wallman. Kasperi Kapanen comes into this game. He has crushed it in 4 or 5 in 3 straight. So I like both of these. And then Edmonton over 3.5 goals. Again, the goaltending has me feeling a little bit uneasy about the Edmonton Oilers. The defensive play has me feeling uneasy, but I trust the offense tonight. Plus 330.
So you don't trust them to win, but you trust them to score.
Yeah, I'm a little worried they might lose like 5-4 in overtime tonight.
I mean, at the end of the day.
Tough to argue. Liam?
Hyman goal, plus 125.
Simple.
I just need one. I just want to see a win.
Got to see one go through the hoop.
Got to go through the hoop.
Yeah.
Yep. And Jay?
It's Beltmas tonight.
Is it ever?
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Beltmas. Toronto comes to town with the tail between their legs because they suck. They just were able to beat the Flames because the Flames suck. They're coming to Edmonton after Edmonton losing and getting whooped by the Wild. Edmonton is showing up tonight to prove a point. Connor wants to whoop Toronto's ass. Beltmas minus 2.5. Hyman is scoring as if it's his job, and it is.
Yeah, I was going to say they do.
And you lost me on the last bit, but
sorry.
Connor's going to have 3 points.
Yeah, 3 points
in this Beltmas performance. Plus 8 something, 875.
Yep.
Yeah,
Juicy.
it's Beltmas. I initially, and I bet it last night, and I almost sent it to you, Nicolai, and I had minus 3.5. I bet it accidentally thinking it was Beltmas.
And do you keep the bet?
I kept the bet.
Oh, wow. You're not cashing
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
no, it's a little sprinkle, so I went heavier on this one. This is happening. This is happening. It is time we shut up all of those Leafs fans, those temporary Leafs fans that come into our building, get the "Go Leafs Go" chant, and then next day put on their Connor McDavid jersey.
I know. I hate that.
Belt to your ass today.
So you have a bit of a, I'm not sure how much you're aware of it. You have a bit of a reputation from the commenters, people who watch and listen to our show, as being kind of the negative one on the program.
Well, I like to stir debate.
Yeah. You got it.
And that's the whole reason. I feel like I have a purpose on this show. Is it just to add on to the
But it's so unlike who you
I am.
are. Yeah,
it is
You've
funny.
always been the Kool-Aid guy, but there's been a shift
But I am
in you.
like when I'm watching the team, I think we can beat and destroy anyone.
And
I
then
do.
you're
but,
just disappointed when
but
we
now,
don't.
but ever since we've now Connor McDavid's come on and we actually now starting to enter our window, it's time to be critical because, like Connor, all I want is to win.
Lance put in a funny comment and goes, Jay just belt to ass the Oilers for an hour, then bets like we're the best team in the league, which is very funny.
But what did I do that was so negative about the Oilers?
I mean, you're definitely more pessimistic about the McDavid story than anyone else is.
No, I could run through a wall, but just I prefaced it with the trauma of someone from the decade of darkness, and also just looking at the reality of 13 years. Like, I loved the article. Trust me.
But that's the pessimism right there. That was it.
Yeah, there's pessimism in there. I don't think anyone else read it and was like, oh no.
Yeah, it all just gets. No, I didn't. Yeah, fair.
Do we have the McDavid quote? Because I want to send Jay out with that.
We want to win here. Obviously, that goes without saying. I think everybody understands that, but just doubling down on that and understanding how committed the group is here to getting it done.
McDavid says his piece in the Players Tribune was written to double down on his commitment to the city of Edmonton.
He said double down on winning. He never said city of Edmonton.
It was written to show how committed he is to the Oilers and the city of Edmonton.
I hope I didn't hear that. I hope that's what he said. I just didn't hear it.
Sure, we'll play one more time.
He didn't say Edmonton.
We want to win here. Obviously, that goes without saying. I think everybody understands that, but just doubling down on that and understanding how committed the group is here to getting it done.
This goes back to just him pouring in like he wants
to
to win. I want to win. So
He used the
anything,
word here.
just so the
He said
chat
here.
knows, I'm not a pessimist. I want to win. Anything I say, my North Star is Oilers Stanley Cup. So any critiques I have are all fueled by that passion, like Connor McDavid, to win a Stanley Cup, even though I have zero to do with it.
Apparently, there's a longer version of the clip somewhere, according to Lance. We'll find it. We'll find it eventually.
I will say one thing.
You're good? You don't want to find it?
I got to go.
I was just going to say, Jay's usually right. We'll leave you on that. If you listen, Jay does a lot of right. He says a lot of the right
when
stuff.
I critique, like it's not
inaccurate.
You know what? Thank you, Liam. It's not just crazy.
No, it's true. What did Jay say during that he was wrong about?
Nothing.
Exactly. He's just he says stuff no one else wants to hear.
I'm just willing to say the critical things that we just have to unpack good conversation.
Yeah.
And that's that.
You're probably late for something right now.
I am so late for something.
There you go. Away goes Jay.
Bye,
Go
Jay.
Oilers! Our next guest is brought to you by Oodle Noodle. You can go to oodlenoodle.ca to find a location near you. The value menu deal allows you to add 2 green onion cakes, 5 spring rolls, or 6 wontons to your order for just $2. Find a location near you. Our next guest wears many hats here at the Nation Network. And today he's wearing a Notre Dame hat. Hello, Zack Phillips. How are you?
I'm good, boys. There's a lot of crazy talk before I came on here. Belt to ass, tail between our legs. Are you guys not aware the Maple Leafs are on a 2-game win streak and Leafs Nation is ready to go on a heater here now?
Zack Phillips from The Sheet with Jeff Merrick, and also TLN After Dark. He does all the post-game coverage for us here at the network for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But are you unaware of Beltmas, Mary Beltmas?
I just listened to all that preamble of you guys doing the Bet365 bet and stuff. I'll be honest with you. I don't disagree with anything that you just laid out in that best bet. So that is pretty much how I foresee this game going tonight. What I just witnessed last night from how this team played in Calgary and how they played against Vancouver, 2 awful teams along with the Toronto Maple Leafs, doesn't really provide me with much hope for tonight, and I do think that the Oilers probably shit pump the Maple Leafs tonight. So yeah, I'm with you guys.
Well, okay, so then let's talk about how you've gotten to this point in the season with them. They're 3-5-2 in their last 10. I mean, hey, they're sitting ahead of teams like the Florida Panthers right now, but this season's just been a disaster. So this is purely, I want to talk on ice Toronto Maple Leafs, what you see when you watch them for 60 minutes. What's missing from their game?
A lot of speed. And I know that that's like a very basic way to look at it, but they don't play with speed. They don't get up ice in transition quickly. They struggled for most of the beginning of the season, really, until they actually got Troy Stecher, which is just a nuts concept. Like, Troy Stecher was the one who fixed this, but they couldn't break out of the zone. They couldn't get up ice quickly. They couldn't maintain offensive zone possession. A lot of it was because they couldn't get the defense involved very much. Stecher, I mean, I'm putting this guy on a pedestal, but he did change a lot of that, and I think it kind of made everybody realize we have this ability, we could do that a little bit more than we had been. And they started to play that way basically starting December 23rd, which is when they went on that heater of a run. And it's kind of dropped off a little bit. And I think a lot of it is because they are an older, slower team in general. Like, you can't sustain that for an 82-game schedule no matter how the schedule is condensed. And then you take 3 weeks out of your season for an Olympic break, and now you're making a 35-year-old John Tavares play 22 minutes a night every other night, including road trips. And I'm not saying that as an excuse. Like, that is a poor outlook and decision-making by your GM and by the coaching staff. Like, that was an oversight. Now you're running these guys to the ground. It caught up to them eventually again. Now you're just watching a slower team who just can't keep up with other teams when they decide, hey, it's time for us to turn up the tempo. And I think that right now is the biggest issue that's holding them back from just picking up points here or there. Like, there's numerous games against Detroit, Montreal, Ottawa along the way. They could have won those games, or they could have gone to overtime. Maybe it doesn't change the entire outlook on the season, but you might be sitting 1 point out of a playoff, 2 point out of a playoff spot right now. And you're not, because you just can't keep up with some of these younger, faster, more skilled teams all the way throughout their lineups.
I honestly can't believe we're here with the Leafs this season.
It's crazy.
Like, it's wild to think of. I bet on them to win the division this year. It shows what I know about things. But like, how does the fan base feel about the potential sell-off of so many players at the trade deadline?
It's really mixed right now. It's kind of weird. Like, they win last night against Calgary, and I think I am pretty realistic as much as I am like a psycho Leafs fan. I do think I'm pretty realistic, and I go in the post game, I'm like, they played like shit. Like, what are we looking at here to be excited about in this game? That's a bad Calgary team. They took it to you for most of the game, and other than William Nylander and Joseph Woll, you shouldn't have won the game, and you came away with one, and people are like, well, you could go on a run. It's been done before. Why would you sell Bobby McMann? I just sold you guys on why this team is so slow. The one guy that Edmonton in particular is looking at here, or at least linked to, is Bobby McMann. And I mean, to prop him up to you guys, he's one of the fastest players in the league, not just on the Leafs. And people are like, why would you sell this guy? Why would you get rid of these pieces? Like, hang on, we're trying to be better next year. I think for myself, I'm in a position of sell, get back what you can, let's reset, get your assets back because you have next to none. But a lot of people right now are looking around, and I do kind of understand it. Like, Buffalo's good right now. Do you trust Buffalo to continue to be good post-Olympic break after they've kind of thrown a pause in this momentum that they've built up? I mean, I wouldn't bank on them falling off a cliff, but historically it's happened, and you could see a wobble in Boston. You could see older teams start to fall off here at some point. Like, it could happen. I just don't think that that's the right approach for this team heading into the deadline, and it's a weird spot because everyone's all sorts of divided on who's at fault, who's to blame, and what went wrong, and the trade conversations are nuts where it's like one day Matthews, Nylander, these guys suck. They're the worst things to ever happen to this team. And the next is like, you need to build around these guys for next year and you need to get pieces to fix it for them. And I'm like, I can't keep up anymore.
So do you think it'll literally be like the night before, a couple of days before the deadline, that's when the Leafs will make the decision, like, we're done?
Unfortunately, yeah, kind of. I could be wrong on that. And like Elliot Friedman did say earlier today doing a Toronto radio hit that the decision's made and like tonight's win doesn't matter. They're still going to look to sell. And I half believe that. Like, I have a hard time not believing Elliot Friedman, to be honest with you. Yeah. But at the same time, just given the state of the organization, like, I don't know how many people are too familiar with some of the inner workings here in Toronto, but the Leafs have a new president, or MLSE, sorry, I should say, has a new president running the operations. He came in and he cut ties with the presidents across the Toronto FC, the Raptors, the Maple Leafs, like, cut them. He went out and had a press conference where he said, we're not here to sell jerseys, we're here to win the Stanley Cup, and made it like the utmost importance and followed it up with the worst season we've seen in 10 years. And I think that there's a little bit of desperation from these guys to be in a position where it's just not throwing away a season. And I mean, this is a little tinfoil hat, so bear with me here, but Rogers just signed a massive TV deal, okay? They just signed to get the TV deal in Canada and spent a boatload of money. Do you know when they lose the most money on the NHL TV deal? It's when Canadian teams do not play. Let's look across the league right now. Who's projected to be in it? Montreal, Edmonton. That's it. That's a scary thing if you're Ed Rogers, who is now the president and like sole owner of MLSE. So I know it's a little tinfoil hat-y, but I do get the impression myself that they're going to try to speed this thing up to get back to being competitive as soon as possible, because no matter what people say, and I know they don't want to hear this, and especially coming from my mouth, like, look at this asshole from Toronto saying how important they are, but Leafs being in the playoffs brings in money. It just does. Whether it's for Rogers or the NHL, doesn't matter. They bring in money. They want them in the playoffs, and they want them on TV.
It's vital.
Well, it makes me think, too, that, like, is there a world where Toronto does, like, a bit of A, bit of B at the deadline, where maybe you can go get a first for Bobby McMann, maybe you free up some money and you dump, like, a Dakota Joshua, Nicholas Waugh, and then does Brad Treliving have something in his back pocket where it's like, whoa, there's an ad with term, and he can sit there and say, yeah, we got rid of some guys who we weren't going to re-sign in the summer, and we made a splash, and maybe you've done both in a way. Like, to me, if Brad Treliving almost doesn't do that, I'd sit there and say, like, you should probably be fired for the way the season's gone.
Yeah, 100%. And I've kind of adjusted how I've looked at this because I just watched them play against Vancouver and I watched them play against Calgary, as I said. The one thing differentiating what Toronto has and those teams do is superstar elite talent. They just have players that are going to make it almost too difficult for you to finish in the bottom 5. And that is the only way the Maple Leafs get their first-round pick this year that they traded to Boston for Brandon Carlo, which is well documented. But that's the only way they keep it. And I don't see a scenario here where they are able to hang on to that. So I'm leaning way more towards the path you just outlined, Tyler. I think that's the smartest decision. Like, it's highly unlikely for me that you get yourself into a bottom 5. I also think you're going to miss the playoffs. So best case scenario is moving off of assets who have high value. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, he's got some term left on that deal. He's got a pretty decent contract. Everybody knows this. It's not like we're hiding a secret here in Toronto, but this is probably the most value that you can get off of the guy right now. I don't know that he plays this way next year, the year after that. Brandon Carlo, I mean, this is the one thing you guys might have to be worried about, and I heard you make the joke about McDavid-itis, about Morgan Riley not playing. I mean, that's one piece of the puzzle, but Brandon Carlo gets away from Morgan Riley, and the guy looks like fucking Nick Lidstrom back there. Like, it's just, how the hell did this happen? But now I'm looking at it like, all right, keep Morgan Riley out. Let's pump the value of this guy up, and maybe you can move him, because a big right-shot defenseman with a long stick who can... I kill penalties. He's not very good at transitioning the puck up the ice, but it can be done. Like, it's not like just a black hole on his stick. Those are pieces I think you move off of. Bobby McMinn, let's recoup some assets. If you find pieces long term, maybe you could find something there. Maybe you take back some passion project kind of things where it's like, hey, here's a guy who doesn't fit on this team, or... And I know the joke's been made, and we've talked about it a bunch here in Toronto, but like Mangiapane was the guy they wanted before Edmonton picked him up. It didn't work there. Maybe he needs a change of scenery. I'm not trying to be overly optimistic, but like maybe he comes to Toronto and something just fits. Maybe he comes to Toronto and he's closer to home and he plays with, I don't know, John Tavares or Austin Matthews, and it works out better for him. And now all of a sudden you found a guy who is a fix-me type of project and can be a piece going forward. I think those are the kinds of things you got to do and try to experiment for the rest of the season, because you're not getting a bottom 5 and you're not making the playoffs. So recoup the assets and let's see what you can do about who works for next season and where can we go from here.
And just to give the people watching who maybe aren't as familiar with the Leaf situation, the reason you keep talking about bottom 5 is because they traded their first-round pick this year to Boston, and it's only bottom 5 protected. So if the Leafs were to pick 6th, they would have to give up the 6th overall pick this year to the Bruins, correct?
That is correct. What a time to be alive.
I feel like we've seen this. I feel like we've seen this before.
This has definitely happened before.
This has happened before.
That's just no bueno.
And today they put out the list of the possibilities. So if that's not bad enough, and I'll just do like a surface level of this, they gave up the first-round pick to Boston this year, top 5 protected. They gave up a first-round pick to the Flyers next season that is top 10 protected. If they take this pick, it pushes the pick to next season. And then if it is in the top 10, they have to give it to one of Philly or Boston or something like that. And then that pushes to the next season. I'm like, we are in this stretch where we are projected to probably be on the bubble of the playoffs every season, and we just have to deal with this mess of draft picks in the first round. You might as well spend this year trying to get them back, or at least as many back as you possibly can.
I want to tell you about Scott Laughton, because I think he's an interesting player, where the Leafs obviously got retention on him last year, so it was only $1.5 million, which means they can retain again. He's probably one of the few players who might be available. Where's his game at right now?
He's in a weird spot because, and this is one of the beefs I have with Craig Berube, is the usage. Everybody who watches him in Toronto is watching how he's playing and saying, this is a guy who should be playing more 5-on-5 minutes. He could probably play more than Nick Waugh. He could play in more demanding defensive roles. Like, he can take on tougher matchups, and Berube just refuses to use him. He was paid for at that price, which was a first-round pick, and Nikita Grabenkin, because he was brought in here to be your third line center and potentially a guy who, when the going got tough, could slide up into a top 6 role on a wing or help out John Tavares or whatever it needed to be. The day he got here, Craig Berube just put him on the 4th line, and that was it. He played 4th line, and he was stuck on the 4th line, and it carried over into this season. He's an unbelievable penalty killer. He's a guy who's an awesome guy in the room. Like, everything you hear about him, you see from him, the accountability he takes in the media and publicly, like, it's awesome. It's something you want around your team. And then his game on the ice right now, he's a motor. And you could see it when things are going well. He's the guy who's going to drive that. And when things start to fall off a little bit as well, he's the one who's still going and engaging in physical play. He's the one who's not giving up on a forecheck, a back check. He's the one who's crashing the net. Like, he does those little intangible things as well, aside from just being I don't want to like oversell, but like a decently skilled player, like a guy who can give you some offense while being very defensively responsible. He's just not getting opportunity in Toronto right now. And part of it is like making me bash my head against the wall and try to replicate the Craig Berube forehead scar because of what he's doing. But I can't understand why a guy like that wouldn't get more use. And I could see other teams looking at him and being like, this could be our third line center for a playoff push, and we're willing to sell on something to bring that asset in. And if he's used correctly, he could be very, very effective, in my opinion, at least.
You could get Laughton and McMahon and still be saving money as long as Mangiapane went out the door. I'd give up a first-round pick plus if the Leafs would take Mangiapane and you get both those players. Like,
sure.
I'd give up a first and a second, I think, if you're freeing up the money for Mangiapane the year after and you're getting 2 guys who are better than him. Again, but that's where the Leafs are at, right, Zach? Where it's like, man, like if you start to dangle these guys, like playoff teams will give you legit pieces for those 2.
100%. Laughton is the only one, though, that is interesting, and I think part of it is I just love the player, everything about him, so maybe there's like an emotional attachment for me, but I think you have to be a little bit careful with like something like that because, and I'm not saying you don't trade the guy, but if you are trying to be competitive again next season, he's a guy who helps you do that. Especially if you have a new coach running it and who's going to give him a little bit more leash or more opportunity. I think he brings that element to your team that you need. And we're talking about these teams that are going to be playoff teams. Guess what you end up going out and looking for next year if you're going to be a playoff team? You're trying to find Scott Laughton again. Mm-hmm. So the idea of re-signing him, it's a fine line. What does he want? Does he want to be here? What's the contract going to look like? Those are all things the Leafs have to balance. There's other ones that I think are a little bit easier. Not to say you don't sell off the guy, but it's just a weird position to be in right now, especially considering it seems like he's a guy who brings everyone together, including the kids. And it's been publicly known for a while. Like, the Leafs have not been the tightest knit group of all time. And he kind of has just jumped in here and, like, fixed that for the most part. So it's like, man, you're going to have the guy and you're going to get rid of him again. I don't want to have the Nazem Kadri, Zach Hyman syndrome all over again in Toronto. That's something that scares the shit out of me, boys.
And that's fair. It's a scarred fan base.
Literally scarred head coach.
Yeah. Did we
Literally.
what was the incident? Did he drop a weight on his head?
So it sounds like he was doing some type of like overhead press or something maybe and dropped the bar. That's the impression that I get. I don't know, guys. Like, that scar. Okay, let's just think about this for a second. The fact that it was from like here. If you're listening on podcast, you're not getting the greatest description. But like on the forehead, from like above the eyebrow in a arc over his forehead. If that thing, just think about this. If that thing hit you, sorry for this gets graphic, it would have had to like yank that skin down off your forehead, right? Because that's the only way that happens.
Okay, thanks, Zach. See ya.
I can't believe his like nose isn't broken or something like that.
How is it? I mean,
his
I
whole
know.
face.
How is he alive?
That's a great point. Also,
No kidding.
how is he working out? He's an old man. I'm 29 and I don't work out because I feel old.
I'm not doing shit like that. All right, Zach. Appreciate you giving us some time today. Honestly, I hope the post game's entertaining for you tonight, but for kind of all the wrong reasons. But appreciate you giving us some time nonetheless.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys. This was fun, and I'm sure win or lose, the post game will be exciting. So I will see everyone there, hopefully, as long as they watch Boardsy's video, our live show first.
Yeah, there you go. All right, there you go. Zack Phillips from Leafs Nation and The Sheet with Jeff Merrick.
Because Zach will still be live.
Yeah, he goes for like 3 hours taking voicemails and
3-4
shit. It's
hours.
crazy.
Yeah, you could call in.
You could call into Zach if you wanted to. Not that we really want people trolling him, but
No.
yeah.
I think the idea of Scott Laughton and Bobby McMahon is incredibly intriguing. This just seems to be more and more players who are lower cappers that are becoming available. And I think that is awesome for the Oilers.
That's good because you need the market to soften a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Like even the Sherwood trade's been kind of considered the comparable, but you do have to remember San Jose paid to jump the market on Sherwood too, which is another factor. So I do think, like, again, is 2 seconds in Mangiapane, is that the deal for McMahon? I think people have viewed the Sherwood deal as a comparable and Mangiapane as a negative asset. I think we need to, again, remember Sherwood was acquired much earlier. You're getting McMahon for less time, pending UFA. San Jose paid because they know they're going to presumably get him signed.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 seconds in Mangiapane. If you view Mangiapane as a slight negative, that actually could be enough to still get him.
Could be.
And Quaddy said, Zach's a straight talker. Appreciate that. Zach's awesome. I mean, I will say all of our Leafs colleagues are like,
They don't beat around the bush.
they don't drink the Maple Leafs Kool-Aid. They don't do. That's what makes TLN actually so unique compared to like what you get from a Sportsnet Toronto Leafs coverage. Is like these guys will sit there and blast that hockey team, and like not in like a boy golly they aren't working hard enough. Is the middle finger the problem? They will like legitimately roast them in a good way. So
And then they will give you the middle finger.
yeah. Okay, we got to wrap up.
Do we?
Unless you want to run the show for 10 minutes while I go piss. But no, we do have to wrap up.
Liam, you sent me this video, but I think it's AI.
Of what?
No, it's real.
But there's 3 guys. There's 3 different kits.
That's the goalie.
Oh, okay. Okay. All the comments are saying
Is
it's
that
AI.
correct? Oh, maybe it was AI. Still
This
crazy.
is awesome, regardless.
Yeah.
You just punched him in the face?
Just literally slapped him. Is that crazy?
I can't tell if that's AI or not.
I don't
See,
know.
I hate that now I'm scared of getting got.
Well, and you know what else I want to say? The one thing that's driving me nuts, and it's AI's fault in a way, but whenever somebody doesn't like something creatively now, they just
AI.
comment AI slop. This is AI slop. And it's like, it's not always AI. Like, just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's AI.
Waz was trying to make a meme yesterday, and Eli was pissed. Eli was not happy. He kept saying, "You're gonna get me out of a job," and it was just this penguin, and he was holding originally a Manchester United. It was clearly AI. Penguins don't hold flags, and then he was holding an Edmonton Oilers flag, and Waz was like, "I kind of want to post this. Like, I think it's a fun, cool idea," and it was a very harmless post. It was voted against very passionately by Eli.
Someone said, okay, wait, let's try to teach some media literacy. Dr. Scruffy said, look at the board ads. So let's go back and watch this again.
I mean, it's
That
the
looks
board
pretty
ads just move.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it does, like, it gets all messed up.
I can look pretty quick here and see if this is real.
I hope it's not, but see,
Oh, I hope it is.
I'm in a world of fear now.
I think I do get what you're saying in the board ads. They all get messed up. And they start to look just like jumbled up stuff.
This is interesting.
Yeah, that's AI.
The way he falls is weird, but soccer players are super dramatic.
Oh,
as well.
yeah. No, look at
Especially
Yeah,
the
right.
Spanish.
just watch the guy in red as he goes
He
down.
kind of like snaps weird here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What minute is this game in? 83rd? It's real. This literally happened.
It is?
Yeah, it's real.
His shoulder-
A player got a red card yesterday in the 83rd minute. Is that say 82?
Yeah.
But this
Yeah,
might be
it's
an
real.
exaggerated thing.
Maybe. Well,
Look at his face when he goes down. Yeah.
No.
Look.
But soccer play, yeah.
Where's the red card? Let me look this up. Bryce Mendez is the guy's name.
I'm voting AI.
I'm voting fake.
No, it's real. Oh, wait a minute.
Did he do something similar and then they just...
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, now I've got it.
'Kay.
I've cracked the code on this. Aaron, I'm sending you a new link.
Yeah, all good.
Okay, so this is an exaggeration of what happened. This is what people were saying, like, this is what it was like.
But it was not. Yeah,
But it
his
was
shoulders
not
all
like, and it's just, I'm going to say this next. This doesn't help the game. The game I love. The game I preach.
that. Oh,
Beautiful
no.
game.
The beautiful game. This is not a good luck for us. This, Jenna, sorry, Aaron, did you get the email? I
I
sent it to
just
you.
got it.
We talked through it, okay? People making fun of us, we talked our way through it.
Yeah. Fucking relax, soggy. I believe everything I see on the internet until it's proven different. And I proved different.
That you need to start going in with more pessimism.
Disagree.
Liam, people are trying to trick you.
They got me. It is what it is. But I figured it out. Simply, I'm good at this. I always know when they do that big megalodon thing and you're on the Titanic, it's obviously not real. So this is what happened. There you go.
Oh.
Pretty pathetic.
That is not close to...
Oh, no. See, now I understand why. Yeah.
This is a bad advertisement for soccer.
Not good.
Power of conversation, guys.
And that guy got a red card, by the way. The guy in blue.
What?
And this is, the power of conversation, this is why it works. We're all in. Yes, there you go.
Oh, Meg with a good piece of advice. Easiest way to tell is if it's less than 9 seconds. If it's longer than that, it's usually not AI because it's too expensive to render for now.
Thank you, Meg.
That's
how
a nice little
how
piece
long
of
was
advice.
that video, Aaron?
I think it was exactly 9 seconds.
That other video I sent you was 16 seconds. There we go. Thank you, Meg. Now we all know.
We're learning.
Conversation.
I'm off. I'm out of here, boys.
Yep. Tomorrow it's me and Aaron. I'll talk to Jay in a bit.
Nick
Alberga
Alberga
will be here. Jeff Merrick.
Yep. You got a loaded show while I'm gone.
Yep. Oilers Flames.
Yep. I'm going to the Waste Management. Maybe I might send in my videos via cell phone.
Videos?
My bets via video. My bets via video via my cell phone.
Okay, sounds good. You can just take the time off too. It's fine.
I'm not bringing a mic with me.
Yeah, good. I wouldn't have you on the show. You need to go away. You need to. You need a break.
I
You're
just
not given.
Just need a couple of days.
If you do something funny in the video while you're placing your bet, I'll take that.
Okay.
Crush a beer or two.
Yeah, we can't do that. Bet365.
Yeah, Bet365.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Say goodbye, Tyler, in the
We'll
chat.
sneak it in early.
Tyler to Italy? No.
Oh, that would be
somewhere much warmer than Italy. All right. I'll be back on Monday, though. We all will be. Well, you guys will be back for the next couple of days. Tomorrow, full breakdown. Aaron, who you got on pre-post tonight?
Me and one, Sean, Pang, and Eben. And I do believe Nick Alberga joining for Oilers Nation After Dark.
In studio or just popping on?
I think he's just popping in.
Cool.
But he'll be in studio here tomorrow. And you just talked about it. Those Leafs guys love to let it rip. Nick Alberga is the king of saying exactly what he feels. And the chat tends to hate Nick Alberga, who I call Nick Alberta.
Oh, man. How bad do you have to go to the bathroom?
Medium.
Okay, I have one more video. Can you guys let me know if this one's real? Aaron, I'm sending
This might have to be a new segment.
Is it real?
Someone said
Is it cake?
Connor Finch said, where are you going? I'm going to Phoenix. I'm going to go watch the Waste Management Open. Phoenix Open, Waste Management, whatever you call it.
I think it's called the Phoenix Open.
It's called the Phoenix Open, but everyone just calls it the Waste Management now. Yeah.
There was Waste Management signs everywhere last year, but yeah.
Did you get the video?
Okay, I just got
This one is shorter than 9 seconds, but if someone can just clarify it
If
for
I
me.
get this fast, I'm going to be... If you're wasting my time and I'm holding in this piss for no reason, oh, you're screwing with me.
This one, I'll allow you to just walk off the set if you'd like. But it's...
Is this like when they scrub the back of the whale with like a floor cleaner or something?
No, that's real.
What do you think? Look at
You had
all
a
the
mouthful of water.
the water coming off him. Why?
This is the guy, but like, see, this is the kind of AI slop I can get behind because it's funny.
It kind of looks like a Pokemon
A
fighting.
family in Omaha won't have water for a week because of the power it took, but like, gave me a good chuckle. That Lance goes, that's real. I was there.
You can see him in the video. Yeah, damn. I think that one got me.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of your week, boys. Enjoy your show tonight, Aaron. Everybody in the chat, thank you very much. I'll see you next week. They'll see you here tomorrow. Noon Mountain. Oil up. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Everyday, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.